Good everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about how to create a presentation site plan using Revit and Tandem with Photoshop. So if you have not done so, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more content like this, also hit the notification bell to get notified once we release new videos. That said and done, we are going to move on. Okay, as you can see, we have our project here in Revit, and we are going to start here and work on the Revit project before exporting it as a PDF, then going to Photoshop. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to activate the crop region. That's we're just going to go to this tab over here, and we're just going to crop it, or sorry, just select the viewable sites of the project that we want to be visible in the PDF. So now we have cropped it. We're just going to click on this tab for these margin lines to be invisible. So we are also going to go to this view range to actually edit the view range of the project, because we don't want this roof to be visible while exporting. So to do that, we are going to go to view range under this properties bar, click on edit, then we're going to just change it to associated with NGL, associated with unlimited, associated with unlimited, and we're going to make the offset 1.2, and we're going to click apply. Okay, now our floor plan is visible. So what we are going to do now is we are going to try and hide these other portions. So we're just going to go back to the view range, escape, go back to view range, edit it, and leave this offset to about 2300. So we'll be able to only view the walls on the ground floor. So what we are going to do now is we are going to go to annotate, and we're going to use max region. Okay, and we're just going to use this line to actually draw on the perimeter walls of the project. Okay, now we have completed, or we have completely drawn the profile. We're just going to hide these flaws. I'm just going to delete these lines, and we're going to select all these slabs in Revit, and we're going to hide them. The only thing we're going to leave are the green areas and the pavings. So we're just going to hide these stairs. Going to hide this as well. We're going to hide in view by elements. Also going to select this one, select these walls here, tab and select the walls, hide in view, hide in view by elements. Okay, now we have something relatively good. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to off all the colors in this floor plan. What do I mean? While I'm going to off the colors is that once I bring it to Photoshop, these colors may start interfering with the materials I want to apply in Photoshop. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to edit this group, because I grouped the whole components of the site. I'm going to click on this floor, edit it, go to edit the structure, edit this grass material, and I'm just going to remove this pattern and put it as a plain pattern, so it will be just plain white. As far as the segmentation is available, I won't need to any colors from Revit. I just need them plain white. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to click OK after I've edited it, and I'm going to do the same for these walls, for these green areas too. I'm just going to go to edit, I'm going to go to this material, edit it, and then I'm going to off any form of field region here, just to make it as white as possible, and I'm going to click OK. So now we are almost done. From Revit, we are going to click finish, and finally we are going to edit this one as well. We are going to edit the material, and we're going to make it plain. Then we're going to click finish. Okay, So as you can see, our site plan is now ready for export. So to export, I'm going to go under this file tab over here, Then I'm going to go to export. Then I'm going to go to PDF, and I'm going to select where I want it to be, and I'm going to just change the name. I'm going to just change the project to 1, and I'm going to export it, and I'm going to click yes. Okay, as you can see, we have currently opened Photoshop. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to go and click on this new file to create a new project. So now I'm going to just select the custom A3 size sheet, as well as the resolution being at 300 pixels. You can always adjust this. If you want to create an A2 size, you input the digits and it will adjust accordingly. So I'm just going to click on this create to actually create the new file. So we are going to load in the PDF we just exported from Revit. So we are going to go under these files here, and we're going to go to place link. This place link will actually create kind of a good working relationship between Revit and Photoshop. So once I export again from Revit, it will update in Photoshop. So I'm just going to click on place, and it will come out here, and I'm going to click OK. Okay, so now I'm just going to click on tick this code. So as you can see, we have currently imported our site plan, or the site plan we tend to do. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to go to this select Marquise tool, and I'm going to start selection. So now I'm just going to click on this select magic wand. Click on this magic wand, and I'm going to start selecting. So I'm going to start with the green areas. So I'm going to start selecting, and always make sure that once you select that magic wand, you should always put it in this add selection tab over here, so it will be able to select multiple, make multiple selections. So we're just going to click to select the green areas, and we're just going to select the major green areas. I think we have some green areas here, here, and maybe here. Okay, then also here too, here as well, here as well, here as well, here as well, here as well. Okay, then we're going to select maybe here too, here too, here too, and we're going to select here too, here too. So we want to load in a green area material into Photoshop. How are we going to do that? We're going to just open one of our browsers, and we're going to go to pngwing.com. I'll put the link to that in the description below. So I'm just going to type on grass, 2D grass, and look for a good grass material. I'm going to just click here and write 2D grass. Okay, then we're just going to look for a suitable green area, 2D green area. Okay, so we have currently downloaded our green area from PNG Wing. So we are just going to drag it and place it as a new project in Photoshop. So what we are going to do now is we are going to click on this select tool now. Okay, then we are going to go under this edit, and we are going to create assign pattern, define pattern, sorry, under here. So we're just going to click on it and name the thing as grass 1. So the thing will be added into our Photoshop library. Okay, so we're now going to go back to the main project here, and we're going to continue clicking on this our magic wand or Marquise tool. So we're going to also select this green area, and I think that is all for this one. We're just going to minimize this so we'll be able to see our project well. Then I'm just going to go over here, go to this background layer, and I'm going to come back here and right click and click on this layer via copy. Okay, then I'm just going to click on this layer via copy, double click on this over this tab over here. Then I'm going to go under pattern overlay, then I'm just going to place it. So currently our pattern is set as some shrubs or some foliage. Then I'm just going to select it, and I'm going to pick the green area we just imported, that is this one over here, and I'm just going to place it. So over this pattern, of course I'm going to reduce the scale of the green area, and I'm going to click OK. So as you can see, we have currently placed our green area. So we're going to do the same thing for other aspects of the site. So the next thing we're going to work on is the paved area. So as usual, we're going to click on this Marquise tool. We're going to go to this back to our layer 1. Of course, we are going to rename this one as green area, so it will be easily recognized. Green area, and I'm going to click OK. So I'm just going to go under this layer 1 back. That is our original layer. Just let me reduce this. Then I'm just going to start selecting again to select the paved area. So I think the paved area are actually just one on its own, so I'm just going to select. I'm going to select here as well, also this place, and make sure I select everything. And I think I can also select here for this paved area, this stairs. Can also select around here as well, also here. Remember, make sure that this thing is set at this point to be able to select multiple planes or panels within the project. So I think I've selected all the, okay, not all of them. Now I think I've selected all the intended paved area. So I'm just going to go back to this background, and I'm going to right click and do layer via copy. Then I'm going to double click here, and I'm going to change the material and go to pattern overlap, click on it. Then I'm going to change it. As you can see, the thing actually selected the green area, but I'm just going to change it to a paved area. So I'm going to go with let's look at this one, but I'm now going to reduce the scale. Okay, I don't like this one. Let's try not this interior tiles. Okay, I think this is a good paving. Then I'm just going to reduce the scale. And I'm going to click OK. Even though this is not the best scale we can get, but the best material we can get, but I think this is pretty decent. Okay, now the next part we are going to work on is we are going to try and download sands to bring into Photoshop. So we are just going to go to open our browser and go to PNG Wing as well. Then we are going to look for we are going to search and just click on sand. Okay, so we're going to just look for a good sand material. Let's see if you can see a better one from here. So I think this one can work, so we're just going to click on this one, and as you can see, look at the sand material. So we're just going to download it. It's 24 MB. And another thing is that I'm going to leave some of these PNG materials or PNG images in the link below, so you guys can get it and use it to practice on your own. So while we're waiting for it to download, we're going to go back to Photoshop, and now we're going to go back to this, our original layer 1. As usual, we're going to rename this layer of paved area, so we'll just make sure it remains as paved area. So we're just going to name this paved area. Okay, we're also going to go back to this browser because I don't like this image or PNG file. So I'm just going to go back to actually look for a good paving. So I'm just going to go to a new tab and write paving. Write paving again. So we're going to start with this searching from here. Let's look. Okay, let's look at this one and see if we'll see some other good ones here as well. Okay, I think this one is looking good, but it's not realistic. I think we can find a better one think we can find a better one. Okay, this is looking okay. Not, let's see. Okay, I think we can go with this one. Then we're just going to download it, and we're going to just download it. We are going to click on this to actually beat the bot detection system. So it should download shortly. So that one is, we'll click OK. I'm going to click on C0. So as you can see now, we've downloaded this paving, so we're just going to drag it and as usual create a new file with it. Then I'm just going to type C, the shortcut C, to crop it. Then we're just going to crop this view to actually crop it to an extent that it will actually create a balanced box we can use as a pattern. Just going to click this and select this, and I'm going to click on save. So now I'm just going to click back to select. Then I'm going to go to this edit tab again. I'm going to go to define pattern. This time I'm going to name it as paving, and I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to go back to our main project or our main file. Then I'm going to click on this paving layer. I'm going to click on this paving overlay to edit it. Then I'm just going to click this drop down icon to actually select a new paving. That is this new one we just created. Then I'm going to adjust the scale a bit for it to look nice, and so far it's not looking bad, and I'm going to click OK. Okay, it's too much, just reduce it more, and I'm going to click OK. Okay, so now we've created the paved area as well as, so if you notice we actually missed some areas, so we can also create it again by just clicking on this wander, using the wander tool again, selecting these ones. Now Ctrl Z, we'll go zoom in and select inside this box. So apparently this one is actually selecting with these other portions, which is no problem, and I'm going to show you guys how to beat this issue. Okay, so we're just going to go under this not this crop region. We're going to go to this deselect, and we're going to use the deselect tool to actually remove some of these regions we don't want to be part of the selection we are making. So we're going to just use it to actually narrow down our selection just to those two doors, or the two spaces inside the doors. So now our selection have been narrowed down. We're just going to go to background again, and we're going to click on this wander tool, right click, layer via copy, and we're just going to place it and put a new layer and click OK. So as you can see, the layer has been embedded into this region. So the next thing we're going to do, as we are waiting for the sand material to download, we are going to click on this, go back to this layer 1, this is our default layer 1. We are going to click this icon just for it not to be cumbersome, and we are going to start selecting. We are going to select our building footprint in the site plan. Then I think we'll also, let's just select this one. Okay, let's not select it, let's just select this one for now. Now for this building footprint, I'm going to go to background. I'm going to right click again, layer via copy. Then I'm going to rename it as footprint. Okay, then I'm going to double click. For this footprint, the settings I'm going to do it, I'm going to go to this pattern overlay. Then I'm going to change it and select this diagonal striped material. Then I'm going to go to strokes. Under these strokes, I'm going to make the stroke color dark. Then I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to increase the size of the strokes, so the boundary lines of the site plan will be very thick. Okay, then I'm now going to go to this drop shadow and I'm going to tick it. Under this drop shadow, I'm going to change the shadow angle to 45 degrees. Then I'm going to reduce the shadow spread and the shadow depth. Then I'm going to click OK. So as you can see, we have actually created the building footprint. Then now I'm going to go back to where I actually downloaded them. As I'm still waiting for the sand material to download, let's just go back and say OK and save it. So now the sand has downloaded. We are going to just drag it and create a new project. I'll just drag it to Photoshop. We can close this one. You don't need to save it. We can close this one as well. So now I'm just going to click on edit and I'm going to create on define pattern. Then I'm going to rename this one as sand. Then I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to go back to Photoshop, the main project, sorry. Then I'm going to click on this, go back to this layer 1. This is our layer 1. Don't forget, before you start using this your magic wand tool, you always go back to your original layer. That is the base layer of the project. That is this number 1 we imported. Then we're just going to click on Alt to zoom in. Then we're going to click on this sand, and I think we're also going to click on sand here. We're going to click on sand. This will be sand, this will be sand, sand and sand here. Then I'm going to go back to background and I'm going to right click here, then layer via copy. I'm going to rename this one as sand. Then I'm going to double click to actually edit it. Then I'm going to go to pattern overlay. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to change this from this pattern and we are going to put this sand pattern we just imported and click OK. So as you can see, we have currently placed our sand material over here and it's looking pretty good. So now I'm going to apply separate green areas both for this football pitch and for this playground, as well as I'm going to download some gravel materials for this just to improve the design of this garden, or of this geometric garden we actually designed here. So I'm going to go back to file, go back to the file, or rather go back to downloads, and I'm going to search for gravel. So I'll be downloading it while I'm working on others and click enter. Then we are going to look for some good gravels. I think let's start by looking at this one. It's too colorful. We need something plainer. Okay, this is looking good. Okay, let's see if we see any better one. Okay, for now we can manage this one. Then we are going to just download it. And we're going to wait. Okay, it has been downloaded. So we're just going to go to our downloads and I'm going to open Photoshop. Then I'm going to open the download and I'm going to drag this and actually create a new folder here. Then I'm going to just click on C to crop it. That is the shortcut for crop in Photoshop. Then I'm just going to crop it to this to crop these stones. Then I'm going to click on finish. Then I'm just going to click on edit and I'm going to click on define pattern and I'm going to name it as gravel or cobblestone, whatever. And I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to go back to the main Photoshop file and I'm going to repeat the same procedure I used before. And I'm just going to go to this layer 1. I'm going to go to this magic wand tool, or this Marquise tool. Then I'm going to do Alt and I'm going to zoom in and start selecting my gravels, the planes I want to place the gravels in. So I think I'll go to background again, and I'm going to right click layer via copy, and I'm just going to copy it. Then I'm going to double click it to actually apply materials on it, or rather apply patterns over it if you're in the actual Photoshop sense. Then I'm just going to click on this, and I'm going to reduce the scale a bit. I'm going to click OK. So if we zoom into it, we can actually appreciate what we've done more. Even though it's looking blur, but I think it's not looking that bad. From the grand scheme of things, it's looking good, even though it's blur if you zoom close to it. So we are going to apply grass for this place too. We are going to go to Macros 2. We are going to go back to layer 1, and we're just going to select this place for our grass materials. Okay, then I'm going to go to back to background too, and I'm going to right click. Okay, sorry, I'm going to right click over here, layer via copy. Then I'm going to click this and change the material to grass. If you remember, we already have grass, so what I'm going to do now is, after I change this material to grass, I'm going to make it a different tone of grass in comparison to this other green area. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to go to color overlay, and I'm going to place a gray color and reduce the opacity to about 20. Click OK, then reduce the opacity to about 25. So as you can see, the green area has a different tone than this other green area. So the next part I'm going to import, I'm going to apply materials on is actually these remaining boxes. So what I can just do is, I can just go back to, remember to always rename this stuff. I think this is our green area too. Okay, then I think this is our gravel layer. Then I'm just going to click on this toggle up, so everything will look much more organized. So I'm going to go back to this layer 1, and I'm going to click on this Macros 2. I'm going to go to hold out, and I'm going to select, Ctrl Z, select this over here. I'm going to go to these boxes, select it, select this, select this. Okay, then I'm going to go to background and right click and click on create. Sorry, not here. I'm going to right click over here. I made a mistake again. Then I'm going to rename this, double click it, so I'll edit it and actually click to pattern overlay, but this time I'm going to make the pattern just plain concrete. So I'm just going to use this concrete material over here. Then I'm going to go to color overlay, and I'm actually going to change the color towards whitish, so it will make the concrete lighter, and I'm going to click OK. So as you can see, we have made some progress on this site plan. We can also always go back to this footprint because it's looking too congested, so I can always double click to edit it, go to this pattern overlay and increase the scale so it will look better, and I'm going to click OK. So the next part we are going to apply material is on this paved area and the asphalt road and the background. So we are going to try and work faster. So we're going to go back to layer 1. We're going to click on this concrete road. So now, since it's actually picking up the background, okay, we actually have a problem. The fact that we imported this road without actually cutting it or creating a panel around it or making sure the loop is closed actually gives an issue. So we can just go back to Revit, open this project, and what we are just going to do is we are going to use a line now. We are not saving it yet. We are going to use a detailed line now to just draw a line here. Okay, then we are going to also draw another line here. Okay, then we are going to export. As PDF. Then we're going to give it the same name as the other one. Make sure the raster quality is in presentation. Then click on export, and we're going to reload it. So remember what I told you about placing it as linked. So if you see, the thing has automatically updated. So now I'm just going to click on this deselect to actually deselect this whole tools. So I'm going to go to this Macros tool again, and I'm going to try and select the asphalt road. I'm going to click select. So I'm going to select this as well, select this just to make sure the asphalt road is completely selected. Then I'm going to go back to background. I'm going to right click, not background, I'm going to right click over here and I'm going to copy, layer via copy. Then I'm going to double click and I'm going to place my asphalt overlay. I'm going to go to pattern overlay and I'm going to change it to asphalt. Already have a good asphalt material. Then I'm going to reduce the scale. Then I'm going to click OK. So as you can see, now we've placed our asphalt material. We are now going to put our paved walkway in here. So we are going to go back to layer 1 as usual. We are going to click on this. We'll use this magic wand tool. We are going to select this, select this as well. Then we are going to hold Alt to actually zoom out. Then we are just going to right click here, go to background, then right click, layer via copy. Then we're just going to change this, double click and just change it to pattern overlay, and we're going to select a good paved area. Let's try and use let's try using this one now. And I think it's looking pretty good. So now the last thing I'm going to do now for these materials, or the last things, is to actually apply materials on the curbs and the background. So to do that, I'm just going to go under this. I'm also going to name this one as walkway. These layers, by the way, I'm going to rename them as walkway, so it will be easy for me to detect them later in future. I think this one is asphalt. Then this one I think is actually, well, I've forgotten. That is the disadvantage of not naming it on time. But regardless, we are going to move on. We are going to go back to this layer 1 and use this macros tool again, and we're just going to select this because now we want to apply materials on the curbs. We're going to share the curbs material with this, and we're going to put a little bit of shadow on the curbs. So we're going to select this, select this, select this, select this. Also going to select this. Don't think we'll have time to start selecting all of those. I'm going to select this as well. I'm going to select this, select this. I'm also going to select this. Also going to select this, this. Also going to select this and this as well. Okay, so now we've selected the curbs. What we're just going to do is we're going to go to this background as well. We're going to right click here and layer via copy. Then we're going to double click on it. This time we're not going to apply any material. We're just going to use color overlay to kind of tint the color a bit. And this time the color overlay, we're going to make it gray. Then we're going to reduce the opacity to about let's use 40%. Then we're going to go to shadows and we're going to go to drop shadows. We're going to increase the distance of the shadow. Okay, not the distance, we're going to reduce the distance of that shadow. We're going to reduce the spread of the shadow. We're going to reduce the size and make everything just mount just right. Then we're going to click OK. So as you can see now, the curbs has more depth and I think there's more life into it now. It's looking kind of nice. Then we're also going to rename this thing and name it as curbs. Okay, one thing you should keep in mind is while working with layers on Photoshop, the order in which you place the layers are very important. For instance, I just created shadows in this. Let me click on escape select. I just created shadows in this curbs, for these curbs, but my paved area is over the layer of curbs. So for the shadows to be superior over this paved area, I'm just going to drop them below the curbs. I'm going to drop everything below the curbs, both the asphalt, and you'll see the effect. You now see the shadows coming out from the building and coming out everywhere. So I think this makes the project look much better. So now I'm going to apply the background materials. Okay, then I'm just going to click on layer 1, and I'm going to click on this magic wand, and I'm going to select this background. This time I'm not going to go under background, and I'm going to come back here and right click, layer via copy. Then I'm going to double click to edit it. This time I'm going to use a dirty green area, like a kind of different green area. I'm going to go to pattern overlay, then I'm going to change it to this one. Okay, now I'm going to increase the scale of this green area because it's actually the background, and I'm going to click on OK. And I'm also going to make it lighter a bit, so I'm going to double click it again to edit it. Then I'm going to go to color overlay, not gradient, color overlay. Then I'm going to reduce the color to about the opacity to about 10, so it will just give it a tint of light grayness. Then I'm going to name it as background. So now, as you can see, we have actually put the footprint you want to put. And last but not least, we are going to work on this football pitch, and we're actually going to give it a pattern. So I actually downloaded a football pitch PNG file. So as you can see, it came with a Champions League or whatever signage here, but we will work against that. So we're just going to click on C to actually crop it. Then we're going to crop it up until here. Then we're going to click on finish. Then we're going to go to edit as usual, and we're going to go to define pattern. Then we're going to name it as football pitch. Okay, then I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to go back to our main project. One funny thing is that we have not actually saved this project, so I'm just going to click Ctrl S. I'm going to save it as presentation site plan, yes, and I'm going to save it as 1. I'm going to click OK. So I'm going to go back to the work. I'm going to go back to this layer 1, this is our prime layer, and I'm going to use this magic wand too. So I'm going to hold this alternate to actually zoom in, and I'm going to start selecting the parts of the football pitch that I want to apply this material in. So I'm also going to select this as well. Select this, and I'm going to go back to background and right click and rename it layer via copy. Then I'm going to just change this name to pitch. Then I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to go to pattern overlay. Then I'm going to change it to this newly imported football pitch. Then I'm going to reduce the scale, and I'm going to click OK. So, and there you have it, people. We have actually applied all the materials we need to apply in this site plan. So sorry about the cough. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start placing greenery and plants. So to do that, I'm just going to go to distance. So after downloading PNG files over a while, I've actually created a kind of mini PNG library, and I'm also going to drop the link to download this whole PNG library in the link. The link will be in the description below, so you can get all these furnitures and green area and footprints for free. So I'm just going to go here, and we're going to load in some greenery. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to bring in this tree. Okay, so in this tree we're just going to drag it here first. As you can see, the thing is under some layers, so we're going to click finish. So you can see it in the layers over here, so I'm just going to drag it up and place it just below the main layer. So I'm just going to click on escape, Ctrl Z, and I'm going to click on select here to select it. So I'm going to hold Ctrl T to actually edit the size. So I'm just going to drag it down and make it smaller. Now before I start copying this tree in the background, I will reduce the size more. I'm also going to do some settings, make some edits on it, and add some shadows. So to do that, I'm going to double click on the tree. I'm going to go to shadow, drop shadow. Then I'm going to just drag this thing up so I'll be seeing the shadows. I'm going to increase the shadow distance, I'm going to increase the spread, and I'm going to increase the size. And I think it's good like this. Increase the size more, and okay. So as you can see, the tree has more depth, so I can just hold alternate to actually copy, Ctrl T to reduce the size, because in nature you can't actually see the same size around. I'm going to copy this to the background, copy this one over here, and just basically shutter it around, increase the size so the size will be varying. Go here, reduce the size of this one, hold alternate, copy more, and copy copy some more, Ctrl Z, then select the tree, copy it. As you can see, you see the trees appearing in these layers. So in order to make things more organized, I can just select all of them and just simply group them into one layer, and I'll just click on merge layers, and this will be into one layer. So if I just click on this, all of them will hide at the same time, so my layer panel won't be looking too cumbersome. So we're also going to go to the library, and we're going to load in palm trees, because palms are beautiful. So I'm just going to drag this palm into this place over here. Okay, then I'm going to as well reduce the size of the palms. Okay, so I'm just going to place this palm here, and I'm just going to drag it to this point first. So we're just going to work on these settings more, and we're going to go to shadows, drop shadow, and we're going to just give it some good shadows and leave the angle. I think everything is good, and we're going to click OK. So now we have our palm. We can also copy it along the sides. Copy one over here, Ctrl T, then reduce the size. Then we can also copy it here as well, Ctrl T. I can copy one here as well. I can copy one to this center point. I can reduce the size of this one here. I can also copy another one here. We can always click on this to actually drop it or change the toggle. You can always place this palm above this one and place it over this settings. You can place one here as well. You can also place some smaller plants apart from palm trees, including shrubs like this one. You can just drag it and place it here. So this shrub is actually very realistic, and we can just crop it down here. So we can just drag it here and place it. We can also go to this palm tree, right click and copy layer style. Go to this head, this shrub we just newly imported. We can rename it to shrub. And we can just right click and paste it, paste the shadow style. Then we can just go on to copy it around. You can just copy it, place one over here, and also place one here. You can copy more of this palm along this region. So as you can see, the more I copy this fast, the heavier it becomes, but it can actually give you the very good result. So if you're having issues like this tree, and you are seeing this line passing between the tree, you can always solve that by carrying it to a higher level in the project. By just placing it over the shrub. Click on this one as well and just place it over the shrub. Then you can always toggle this back up so the thing will not make your layer panel look cumbersome. You can click on this one and place it over this main layer, so you will not actually see these lines obstructing it. Okay, so we have actually finished placing the materials and we have actually placed some components. So we are finally going to click on this file to export it, and we're going to click on export and export as. Then it's going to take a little time. Then we're just going to click on export, and we're just going to save it as. We're just going to save it to our desktop, so I'll be able to just see it quickly. I'll save it as one and just save it. We're going to wait for some time. So as you can see, we are just going to open it on our screen to see the result. So as you can see, we have actually transformed this scanty site plan, as you can see how scanty it is in Revit, to actually this good presentation site plan. So if the video was helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Also hit the notification bell to get notified once we release new videos. Thank you once again and have a nice day.